And we're up to expanding and condensing logarithms. This is an expand logarithm, so let me write it down. This is problem number 6. Let's see. Log
base b, parenthesis, x squared y all over z to the 8th, close parenthesis.
Well, remember years ago when a student told me, gosh, it takes longer to type these answers in than it does to actually work it. So what have we said about expanding and condensing logarithms? Well, to expand them, you separate logarithms at multiplication and division. You don't separate them at addition or subtraction. So let's see, if I separate this, it's going to be right there's multiplication and division. So this is going to separate into 3 logarithms. The exponents go in front of the letter L, and the stuff on top will have plus signs in front of them, and the stuff on bottom will have minus. So there's a pattern here. So I'm going to start with the x squared. The exponent goes in front of the letter L. So we write 2 log base b of x. Then a plus, because the y is on top. There's no exponent on the y, so we'll just write log base b of y. Then we move to the z. The z is on the bottom, so that's a minus. Exponent, log base b of z. Now, that's what we're going to have to type in. So let's see how you type this in.
Before we type it in, make a note that we just used the first 3 properties of logarithms all in a single step. We used the product rule to separate the x's and y's with a plus. We used the quotient rule to separate the division with the minus. And the power rule we used to bring the exponents down as coefficients.
If you look at view an example on this, I'm sure they're going to show a lot more steps. I think that it's more there's fewer mistakes if you just do it in as few steps as possible. So let's see. Here it goes. Now this is a mess, typing it in. You type 2, and then, by the way, as I've said before, never hit a space key, never hit capital letters. L-O-G.
Look how that G became bolded there. When you typed L-O-G, the program recognized that as the logarithmic function, so it bolded it. Now you need to add a subscript.
The subscript is B, and I'll just hit right arrow to get out of the subscript. X plus log. Notice L-O isn't bolded, but once I hit G, it bolds.
Use the subscript button in the toolbar. You've used the exponent button before, now you're using the subscript button.
And then a minus, once again, L-O-G.
You're forgetting your 8.
That would have gotten it wrong. Thanks, Tim. Log.
No, 8. 8.
Oh,
okay.
I did minus 8.
Okay.
L-O-G, base B, right arrow, Z. Sometimes students ask me, how to get the L-O-G to bold? Well, if you have to do that, you're punching it in wrong. It should bold automatically. And let's see, how do we check this answer? And move on. Remember our rule about X.
Remember, we rewrite radicals using rational exponents. So that's the hint that we'll do here. So rather than jumping immediately to applying the properties of logarithms, you're going to want to rewrite that 9th root as a rational exponent. That means a fractional exponent. Let's switch over to the paper now.
And you see, that's the rule we're going to be using, okay? So let me write that problem down now.
Let me switch it back.
It's number 7. Log. Click Chrome. Log. This just says log. Now, that means log base 10. For our purposes, we're not going to have to be typing in those little subscripts. The 9th root of x over z.
Remember we said in earlier videos that if there's no subscript on the log, it's assumed to be a log base 10. So we're not going to have to hassle with typing those subscripts when we're typing in our answer.
And now, a 9th root is the same thing as a 1 over 9 exponent. Now be careful. This 9th root applies to both the x and the z. Both of them should get a 1 over 9, not just one of them. Okay? So we're rewriting.
I think I should have switched. Oh. Oops, I forgot to switch, okay? So
okay, but I'm rewriting the 9th root as a 1 over 9 and a 1 over 9. Both of them get the 1 over 9. If it had been something like this, if it had said log, oh, let me move that. If it had said log 9th root of x over z, then only the x would have the 1 over 9. But that's not what it says. Here, both of these have the 9th root. So now we're ready to separate them and write them out. Well, you separate it, multiplication and division. Well, there's no multiplication, but there's division. So you put the exponent in front of the letter L. So 1/9 log x, then a minus, and 1/9 log z.
So 1/9 log x minus 1/9 log z. Let's come back over here to the problem and we'll type in 1/9, get out of that denominator.
So right
log, we don't have a subscript, just the x, minus 1/9. Right arrow to get out of the subscript.
The log should not be in the bottom with the 9.
That's right. The log z is not in the denominator. Is that what we had to type in?
Yes.
And
okay.
yes, that's right.
Okay. Hey, I wonder, I should have asked this already. You know, I've already mentioned that in algebra class, you always do it one way, then do it in reverse. Like you FOIL and then you factor. Could y'all go in reverse here? That's what we call condensing logarithms. If you were going backwards from 3 logarithms to 1, yeah, y'all could go in reverse. Because that's what's going to be common in a little bit. They'll give us this, and we'll go back to that. Just remember, the number in front of the letter L is the exponent. The stuff that has pluses on top, pluses in front, go on top. The stuff with the minus in front goes on the bottom.
And if there's no minus in the expansion, then there's no fraction in the condensed form of the logarithm.
Let's see problem number 8.
Yeah. Let's see.
Oh, this is a good one.
Yeah.
Write it down. Log
base D.
Oh, of course, there's a subscript.
Fraction. You have a s under a square root.
Okay. S square root of s.
T to the 4th. And on the bottom you have r to the 9th.
R to the 9th. Well, there's that one step we got to do first. And that's rewrite that radical as a fractional exponent. Now, on a square root, we don't usually write the little 2 here, but we sure say it, square. So that square root, I'm going to write as a 1/2 exponent. So s to the 1/2. Now I'm ready to separate it. Well, you separate it multiplication and division. There's the multiplication.
So how
there's
many
the
separate
division.
logarithms are you going to need?
You're going to need 3. One for the S, one for the T, and one for the R.
That's right.
So, get started. You start with the S. Put the exponent in front of the letter L. So 1/2 log base D of S plus, now for the 4. I put a plus because the T is on the top. 4, that's the exponent, log base D of T, and then a minus, exponent, minus because the R is on the bottom, 9 log base D of R, and I bet you that when we type this in, I'm going to forget to put the D on one of them, but you have to type in the subscripts here.
Okay, so let's start typing. Okay, you have 1/2. Get out of the denominator, right arrow, log, subscript, D. Get out of the subscript, do another
S.
right arrow, S.
Notice how he has using any capital letters. 4 log subscript D, right arrow T, minus 9 log subscript D of R.
No, it just now dawned on me, instead of using the hot button down here for the subscript, I did a shift down arrow. Shift and down arrow is the same thing as the subscript hot button. Let's check our answer. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Keep going. We are flying through here. 20 short years, we'll be through.
I tell you, it just keeps getting easier. Oh, Lord.
Okay. This, you might think, oh, wow, what is that I-N? It's not an I-N. Remember, no capital letters. If there's going to be no capital letters, this has to be a lowercase l. People frequently get this one wrong because they see it, they type in a capital I over and over. No capital letters. Logarithms always begin with the letter L. Let me write this one down.
Now this ln, that's the natural logarithm. We talked about that in another video, and that's log base e, the natural exponential.
That 2.718281828. You never do anything with that 2.18281828. X plus 9. I'm writing the problem down right now. Is that bottom x plus 9 to the 4th?
Yes, it is.
Okay. So let's see. Here's problem number ln. Again, it's L, not I. X to the 4th. Okay, here's a square root. I've written it in red to give you that hint that you're going to have to rewrite.
How are you going to rewrite that square root? It's going to be what sort of exponent?
Yeah, what am I going to write in red? That red square root is going to become a red.
Right. It's going to be a red 1/2.
Correct. And then
I see you moving your lips, even though I'm reading your lips over there.
Now, don't be afraid to speak up if you want to get on the video. You can't sound any more foolish than us.
But you have to speak very loudly for the mic to catch.
Yeah. Well, you separate logarithms at multiplication and division, not at addition and subtraction. So where will I put my dots? Remember the time the student said, you seem to think that putting these dots and stuff is important. And I was like, oh my gosh, yes, it's important. That's where you're separating. You don't separate at addition or subtraction.
Here's what I tell my students. If the argument of your logarithm, the thing after a logarithm, has a plus or a minus in it in the original problem, your argument must have that plus or minus in the final answer. X squared plus 9 has to appear in your final answer. It can't be split up. X plus 9, that has to be in your final answer. You cannot change it.
Now, okay, so starting with the X, the exponent goes in front of the letter L. So 4 ln x. Notice I'm using cursive writing try to get around that, but for logarithms, it's almost better. So the L doesn't look like an I.
Or 1.
Plus the 1/2 goes in front of the letter. Oops, I messed up. Not L-O-G, L-N. At least we're not going to have to type in a subscript. And then we've now moved to the bottom, so it's going to be a minus 4 ln x plus 9.
Realize x squared plus 9, that's all one factor. It has to be enclosed in parentheses when you type it in. X plus 9, that has to be enclosed in parentheses. If you don't enclose parentheses, then you're assuming that the only thing you're taking the natural log of is x squared. Here, without parentheses, it would just be ln x, and that is not what we want.
And it'll count it wrong if you don't have the parentheses.
That's right. If your argument has a plus or minus in it, you must enclose it in parentheses. Here, this argument is just a single x. You don't have to put parentheses around that.
But
x.
I'm almost sure Pearson MyLab will accept it if you do.
If you did put parentheses around that argument, that would be fine. But they would accept it. But it's mandatory if your argument has a plus or a minus
Let's
in it.
demonstrate that.
Yeah, let's go and type it in.
Yeah. So let's type it in without the parentheses. 4. Notice I'm about to type in a lowercase l and a lowercase n. Right now it looks like 41. But when I punch in that lowercase n, notice, okay, 4 ln x. Now again, I'm going to get this one wrong. Plus 1/2, right arrow, ln. Let's suppose I don't put the parentheses. Notice,
Maybe we're lying to you. Maybe you don't need those parentheses. Let's see, Tony.
I generally try not to lie to my students.
Yeah, but you never know.
Yeah. Plus 9. Notice the x squared plus 9 should be in parentheses, but it's not. Minus 4 ln x plus 9.
Once again, that x, we say that these x squared plus 9 and x plus 9 should be in parentheses. Let's see if they'll take it without the parentheses.
Wrong. And it gives you all these great hints.
The product rule, quotient rule, and power rule. They're not that helpful. Maybe they could say something like put in parentheses, but no, they don't do that.
Well, I guess then we would have it. They got to leave something for us to say.
Yeah, if they tell you everything on my math lab, then or MyLab Math, then we'd lose our job, I guess. So they always got to leave stuff for the teacher to tell the students.
X plus. Now that we have the parentheses in, let's see.
Sure enough, we were right.
Okay, let's see. Problem number 10. Let's go to the next.
Oh,
we're about to start going backwards. Okay. Now,
they give us 2 logarithms. They want us to write it as a single logarithm. That's called condensing.
Don't let the fact that there's no no variables here scare you too much. Tim, flip over here for a moment.
Okay, hold on.
Let's look at this. Remember what I said. If you're going backwards, the stuff that has the minus in front goes on the bottom.
Right.
The exponent is the number in front of the letter L. So let's look at number 10 again.
Oh, yeah, you better write it.
Let me write it down. It is log
base 8 of 6 minus log base 8 of 5.
Well, we're condensing this. We're writing it as a single logarithm. To go backwards...
Let me ask you something. Will we need a fraction bar? Go ahead and write the log base 8.
Okay.
What do y'all think? Will we need a fraction bar? Remember we said you need a fraction bar. Looking at this one right here at 9.
If there's
a minus in front, that becomes the fraction bar.
Because of this minus, I'm going to put a fraction bar. And now there's no exponents. Remember, the exponents are the numbers in front of the letter L.
Notice no coefficient.
There's no number.
No coefficient.
So you just put the 6 on top, the 5 on the bottom. Log base 8 of 6 over 5.
Y'all think that's it? Let's see if that's right. That seems mighty easy, Tony. Maybe let's type that in.
I think I'm messing up.
Oh,
L-O-G, now notice, log, subscript, 8, right arrow, and I can just go 6/5 if you want to use the little fraction button. Okay.
Let's check.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
wow.
right.
Gosh, I amazed myself.
Easier and easier. Oh, what did I just say?
Oh.
Here we're condensing again. We're taking two logarithms and writing them as one logarithm. But look, one of the arguments has parentheses with a plus in it. Can we split that up or anything? No.
Oh, wait, I answered.
Okay, yeah, okay. But that z plus 6 has to appear in the final answer as a z plus 6.
In parentheses.
Well, in this one it doesn't really matter.
Oh yeah,
it's
going to be
all
in a fraction. Yeah, you're right. So now I've written it down, so let me see it. Sometimes students tell me, hey, I can do these problems without all that writing. Yeah, okay. These are some that you can probably, let's see, I'll write LOG base 4.
Will we need a fraction bar?
Yes, because of that.
But wait a minute, I see a plus right there. So why are we using a...
It's in front of the logarithm.
It's the sign in front of the logarithm. The sign inside those parentheses has no bearing. It's the sign in front of the logarithm that you're looking at. That minus says we're going to have a fraction bar.
Now, here's a common mistake. Students forget that 3 is an exponent. Do not write 3z. You write z to the 3rd up on top, and then z plus 6 on the bottom. Since that's all that's on the bottom, you can get by without any parentheses, but as I sort of hinted a while ago when I said there's parentheses there, you should have parentheses in your answer. That's a good rule to live by.
If you had a coefficient right here in front of this logarithm, say a 2, you would have absolutely had to have those parentheses to put that little 2 as an exponent.
That would have made a better problem. If there had been a number right here, then you would have to put that exponent
on
right
the z
there.
plus 6. That's right.
So let's type it in.
Okay, I'll type it. Okay, here goes. I type my LOG
subscript
4, right arrow. I'm going to use the fraction hot button to make sure I'm typing everything where I want it to be. I have a z cube exponent 3, and on the bottom I have a z plus 6 right parentheses. Is that what I wanted to type?
That's it.
Yes.
No. When you're watching this, if we're going too fast, feel free to pause us, mute us, whatever. Now, you'll notice I've started on these problems. When you're doing them, you'll be seeing these little warnings. Never type capital letters or hit the space key. If you're typing it incorrectly, each log will automatically bold. Logarithms always begin with a lowercase l, E-L, not a capital I, E-Y-E. Okay?
That's well said, Tony.
I actually struggled with how to word that.
I remember that was right once the pandemic was starting. And we were I remember that.
Wow. Okay, let me write this one down. This is number 14. No, number 12.
If this were just a regular class right now, I'd probably just type the LOG, and y'all, I bet y'all could just tell me what to type for the argument.
You know, really, you're right. There really is no work to it at all.
I know. Provided you follow how we're combining the product rule, the quotient rule, and the
why don't you write it instead of?
Well, you've already written it down.
Okay. So here it is. Well, we write down a single LOG. At least there's no subscript that we got to base.
Okay, are we going to need a fraction bar? What do y'all think? Yes, we're going to need a fraction bar because of that minus. Okay. What have we got on top?
3x plus 1. And the bottom x. since there's nothing else with the 3x plus 1, you don't really need the parentheses, nor do you need it on the x. If you're uncertain, there's no reason why. If there's a parentheses in the original statement, you can certainly leave them on the in the final answer. Okay, but those green parentheses I wrote there, you don't need.
And let's verify that. Let's type that in without parentheses, just to verify that they count it right without the parentheses. So I type L-O-G.
Notice how it bolded so nicely.
Okay. I have my fraction bar, and on top, I'm going to do it without the parentheses just to verify, so y'all can see that even if it has parentheses around the argument, if that's the only thing in the numerator or the denominator, the parentheses aren't really necessary.
Check. And you know what? I want to see something just out of curiosity. Sometimes how are they doing with view an example? There's only 4 steps remaining.
4 steps?
I was always amazed. They put in so many steps. Oh, wow. Okay. Huh. Let's move on. 13. Oh.
Once again, the same
Oh,
letter.
is that an I-N?
No, that's an L-N.
Look, see how I worded it this time. Never type capital letters or spaces. This is a lowercase l, E-L-N, not a capital I, E-Y-E-N. If you're typing this correctly, the L-N should bold. If it does not automatically bold, then you are typing a capital I instead of a lowercase l. All logarithms begin with a lowercase l. You should never type a capital I into Pearson MyLab. Okay. Let's see, number 13.
Let's write this problem down. 1/6 ln x plus ln y. So let me switch over to the paper now. So we're going to write the ln. We'll write our ln down. And then here's the question. Do we need a fraction bar? Are we going to have a fraction bar right here?
No. Finally, we have one. All the other ones, had the minus in the middle. And
That's right. So there's no...
Because of this plus, there is no fraction bar. So what do you write? You just write...
Wait a minute. If so, you're not dividing. When there's a minus, you divide. When you're adding, what do you do to the arguments? Right, you multiply. Okay, that's all you can do to arguments. You can multiply them and divide them. So because of that plus, you are multiplying the xy.
You would write the x first with its exponent, and then the y. Do not put a plus in between them. This is wrong what I'm about to write. I'll put a red X. If you try to do this, something like this, ln x to the 1/6 plus y, that's wrong. It'll count it wrong. Why? Remember, you separate at multiplication and division, not at addition or subtraction. If you have a plus there, could you expand it to get what we have here? Well, no. If you were going to put a symbol, it would have to be one of those multiplication dots. But when we type it in, we're not going to put a symbol. Just ln x to the 1/6 y.
Okay, so here goes. I'm typing in, okay? Here I go.
Oh, I have an idea.
I'm doing it right now. What happened? The ln didn't...
Well, let's go ahead and type it up. Continue.
Let's try x to the 1/6.
1/6.
The 1/6.
Right arrow.
Get out of the exponent, and there's the y.
Look how bad that looks.
Bad.
I think I just gave it away.
Yeah, you did.
It's
what
wrong.
did I do?
Well, what did they do wrong?
I typed the capital I. It looks like an ln to the naked eye, but that's not it. Notice it didn't bold, and it's counted wrong. To get it right, I have to go back and
type a capital L.
Look at that. When I replace the I with an L,
a lowercase L. I think I said capital L.
Never use capital letters in my math lab, and you'll be fine.
Okay.
Oh, the same
Here's
little
another one. Let me write it down.
It's 9 log base b of x.
9 log base b of x
Plus 6 log base b of z.
6 log base b of z. Okay. Well, we are now condensing it to just one logarithm. So I write log base b. And the question is, will there be a fraction bar? What do y'all think? Well, just like...
I see someone shaking their head. That's right. We don't have a fraction bar because
of the plus.
That plus says we're not dividing. What are we going to do to x and z? So we're going to
multiply.
Multiply. That's right.
You write the x to the 9 and the z to the 6. That's what we're going to type in, but let me show you a common wrong answer. A lot of times students will do this. Log base b, and sometimes they just go 9x plus 6z. That's wrong. Well, even if you went ahead and moved the 9 up to the top, if you put a plus there, it is wrong.
Okay, so let's type it in.
Log base b,
so I'm typing
log
base b of x
to the
X.
subscript.
I forgot that exponent on this.
And z plus. No, not
plus.
I forgot what I was doing. Z
to the 6th. Is that what I wanted
and what
to
he's doing
type?
is he's hitting this. He's using this for the exponents. We all know that by now. So let's see.
Yeah.
Let's check it. Okay.
Oh, another instructor tip. Telling you not to use an I instead of an L.
So problem 15.
4 ln.
That's an L. 4 ln.
X plus 9. Right, parentheses minus 6 ln x.
Sometimes students say, well, Mr. Precella, it looks like you're just writing the problem down and writing the answer. And that's exactly what I'm doing. There's plenty of times when you got to show a lot of steps, like cut point method and so forth. But, yeah. Let's see. Let me see here. Yeah.
Okay.
But there's one where you don't have to show any steps. Will there be a right
the
ln?
Are we going to need a fraction bar? What do y'all think? Okay, you've got the hang of it. Yes. The minus sign. What have we got on top?
Remember what the 4 is. It's an exponent.
Okay. And on bottom?
Don't put 6x. You put x to the 6th. Not that anyone said 6x. Okay. So, again, that student that said, you're just writing the problem and writing the answer. Yeah. Would you rather a lot of steps? If so, look at view and example. I'm sure they have some steps for you.
So I type my ln.
Type it in correct. Okay. Bolded nicely.
I'll put my fraction bar. And on top, I have x plus 9 raised to the 4th. And on bottom, I have x to the 6th.
Oh, let's move that little arrow so we can see it. Okay. Well,
any questions there?
This is called condensing logarithms. Sometimes they don't say the word condense. Like here it says, it does say condense the logarithms.
But then they go on to explain what it means to condense. You write it as a single logarithm. Okay, let's go to the next question.
Oh, now here's one that you could impress. Find someone that doesn't know much about logarithms, and you can show them how to expand and condense these, and it's going to look to the naked eye that you're just writing the problem down and getting the answer. In fact, I don't even know that we need. Can we do this without writing it down? Let's see. Oh, let's see. Control. I forgot. Is it this? Does that do it? No.
There. That's it.
Okay. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Okay, let's just do this problem without writing down anything.
That's it. Making it big. So let's see.
We'll type our L in, and y'all tell me. What do you think? Do we need a fraction bar? Yes, okay.
Because of what? That minus. Okay.
Right, okay. And this X here, is that going to go on top or bottom? Top, because it doesn't have a minus in front of it.
Now make sure you write x squared. Remember that 2 is a exponent. Now write arrow.
And then what about the y? On top
or
on the bottom?
On top.
Because of that y, that positive number there. And where does the 5 go?
As an
exponent, that's right. The coefficient becomes an exponent.
Now the z goes on the bottom, y.
Because of that minus. Right.
And the z to the 6th. So here's, what did we do? Well, we just read the problem and typed in the answer. We didn't even need to write anything down. Okay, okay, now, why don't we take a break for a few minutes, and then we'll finish up these next few while I find my calculator and pull it up on the screen. Okay, so
we'll be back in a few minutes.
Okay.